Well, hello, everybody.
What's up? We totally didn't have camera problems before now.
No, that's definitely edited out.
Speaking of things that should have been edited out, we just saw Fast and the Furious 8.
Fate of the Furious. F8, Fate, get it? Because everybody else did.
I'm gonna do to you what I'm pretty sure Jason Statham did the first time he read the first draft. Wanker!
Hey.
This movie's fucking retarded, but in the best way. In the same way I enjoyed Kong Skull Island, I enjoyed this movie enough.
Okay, well,
I've got some gripes, but...
I think I've reworked. We're heading into spoilers here, but most of you have already seen this.
I don't really even think you need to say that. I mean, we're on the 8th installment.
Yeah.
I mean, you know if you're going to enjoy this movie or not. If you want dumb action fun, I would probably say this is harmless at worst.
So I'm going to tell you right now what all the rewrites were since Paul Walker died. Because they actually had this one already written, ready to shoot after 7. It was going to be like a back-to-back shooting.
Right.
I guarantee you the whole Dom's son thing probably was actually meant for Brian, and they were going to have Brian work for Cypher.
That would have been interesting.
And, they would have had Toretto's sister and Brian's 2 kids.
Yeah, that could
see
that.
Like, my original thought of why Toretto would have been doing this, I thought, like, she would have had, like, Brian and Mia and their kids.
Yeah, that would probably work.
But,
I could see that.
But, they threw that Vin Diesel has a kid now.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the biggest... Well, the reason the kid is there is probably my biggest complaint, because I hate when they do this in movies. They bring someone in just to kill them. And in this case, they double dipped on this, because it's 2 things that I hate. One is when they introduce a character just to have them related to somebody else. In this instance, they just had Dom's former lover there to fart out a baby and then kill her.
She was in the other movie.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. The only reason she's in this one, though, is specifically because they just said, yeah, you have a kid, and now we're going to kill you. And I hate it when they do this with animals, when they bring in an animal just to kill it.
Yeah,
it's the worst idea ever. It's equally bad here. As far as things
I want to know where, like, how much time was supposed to pass between, because he found out Letty was alive in 6. I don't know, maybe 6 and 7 were supposed to be some quick time between each other. Or at least 9. That baby looked at least a year and a half old.
Yeah, there's my second biggest problem with this movie. Who the fuck brings the kid up this long and doesn't give them a first name? That kid's middle name is officially his first name.
And
he's old enough to have object permanence, so I'm pretty sure he recognizes as being called something.
In the second one, in her second, like... In the last movie, what Statham and The Rock were going back and forth about when he was... The Rock got flown, like... He jumped out the window to grab her, that girl.
Yeah.
And to save her life, because she got thrown out the window.
Okay.
But I figured if she had already had this kid, and she would have probably quit doing the police stuff. This was definitely the rewrite. Also, my biggest annoyance with this was Scott Eastwood. And it's not Scott Eastwood.
No, he was just
personally
written poorly.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's very obvious he's there to fill Paul Walker's shoes. He looks a lot like Paul Walker.
Not really, but...
Well, he's close enough. And that fucking Nissan he was driving.
Yeah.
That was Brian's car of choice.
That kept sucking me away from it. Now, I watched the first one, and I was like, this is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And I almost wanted to punch you in the face for it. Because you're the one who said, oh, yeah, here, watch the first one, that's okay. And I was like, this is dumb as shit.
Well, they went from like car crime movies to like this.
Yeah, I know.
It evolved
They
over time.
metamorphosed, which I did some overviews of the others, and I was like, I bet these other ones that don't involve all the stupid crime and melodrama are actually kind of fun. And sure enough.
5 to 7 are just like heist crime movie.
So what you're saying is I should watch Fast 5 to The Fate of the Furious.
4. 4 starts like right as 5. 4 just kind of sets everything up, but they take down like a drug cartel.
And now all of a sudden Terminator's timeline actually seems straightforward. Anyway.
The only movie out of place in the Fast and Furious timeline is 3.
Anyway.
But those characters aren't even relevant because they're all dead or not.
I do have one other question involving this. What the fuck is Tyrese there for? Because from what I see, he's there for really shitty comic relief and to occasionally shoot a guy.
Yep. He was Vin Diesel's replacement, or supposed to be.
They wanted to replace Vin Diesel with that shit?
Well, when Vin Diesel
did they just not know what to do with him after they decided not to do that?
Well, when Vin Diesel did the second one, when he opted out of doing the second movie to go do Triple X, they brought in Tyrese's character as like Brian's friend from childhood. And
yeah, no, I remember reading about this.
They like kind of just they changed the characters a lot because that's when Ludacris's character came in too. But Ludacris's character was more of like a hustler than anything. He had no techie shit, and then in the 5th one, he's the tech guy. Like they all showed back up in the 5th one. The 4th one was just Brian and Dom. And Michelle Rodriguez, Letty was in there for a little bit, and Dom's sister, Brian's wife.
For as much shit as I've talked on this movie, I actually had a lot of fun watching this, so I'm kind of glad I went with you. It was a lot of fun seeing Charlize Theron be a bad guy.
Dude, oh my god.
Jesus, I want to see more of her as a bad guy.
She was the best thing about Snow White
100%.
And The Huntsman Winter War. She was the best thing about those movies.
It reminded me that I miss The Rock being a professional wrestler.
Jesus Christ.
Because, my God, it was so much fun watching him go to town like the Macho Man and the Ultimate Warrior had a baby and produced him.
Well, his dad was a wrestler.
It does not surprise me.
And his grandpa.
Again, doesn't surprise me.
His mom's dad. So he is actually 2 different wrestlers' genetics in him. His grandpa was like the Samoan warrior or something.
Okay.
And it was like his mom was that guy's daughter, and then his dad was a wrestler too.
Okay.
So he's like a Samoan black guy mixed wrestler.
I 100% understand that. And third, I miss Vin Diesel being a bad guy. Because having him be silent and glaring at you,
it works.
It works so well. I want to see him kill people again. I can't believe I ever actually say this after the Chronicles of Riddick. I want another Riddick movie so bad.
Wait. You missed a Riddick movie then.
I did?
Yeah.
Is there a third?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not great.
Way to bring down the room, Jared.
It's called Riddick, actually. It's just called Riddick.
Oh, yeah, I think I remember that.
They were on the planet, and
yeah,
when
it had
went dark.
It had Starbuck in it, and it was basically pitch black with a different cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was shitty. Okay, never mind. I remember it now, and no, just make a new character then.
I want Vin Diesel as Black Bolt, so he doesn't have to talk.
Well, he'd probably be a good Black Bolt.
Because they've talked about like how he just has I am Groot, like he's the voice of Groot. With Black Bolt, that would work too, because Black Bolt doesn't talk.
Yeah, he could be good. Yeah,
go.
speaking of Marvel movies, this movie reminded me of one for how much they just absolutely gave a giant flaming finger to the laws of physics.
Yeah, this is the only thing, like...
Jesus
This
Christ.
is Universal's only successful franchise. Only.
I'm not surprised. I mean, have you seen what else they're churning out?
The Mummy reboot and Dracula Untold was supposed to be actually the start of that.
Yeah, well, we're not here to talk about that. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Fate of the Furious and cars going fast.
That's it.
That being said, the actual driving in this was a lot of fun. Yeah. It was a lot of fun to watch. And this movie did something really, really cool, I thought. I wish they would have done it more.
What?
The zombie car idea. That was fucking awesome.
That was half their fucking budget.
Oh, easily.
Oh my god. Like, it's pretty easy to, like, they were like...
I mean, I'm sure they did a lot of CG.
The last movie made like $1 billion, so they're like, fuck it, we'll spend $500 million.
Blow our budget!
They did, but they made it back in 2 days.
Well, I kind of understand. That was a really awesome stunt. They basically hack a bunch of self-driving cars, which, never mind the fact that that's not how any of that works. That was like my big thing. I was sitting there and I just become that old lady from the Geico commercial explaining Facebook. It's like, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. And I'm just sitting there like, this is dumb. But yeah,
this world is not supposed to be believable.
Oh my God, is it never? They hack a bunch of self-driving cars and basically get them into a pileup that makes the Blues Brothers scene look impotent by... At least it's well directed in that movie, and this one is just pile up. And I have to admit, it was actually kind of cool, though. But
there's one thing I wish I would have seen in this movie, though. I really wanted to see just like, you know, after everything was said and done, Jason Statham and The Rock get in like a boxing ring and just fucking beat the dog shit out of me.
That would be pretty cool. They were probably the best part of this movie.
They're definitely going to be in the Luke Hobbs spinoff together.
If they're not, I'm going to be really angry because those two playing off each other were so good.
See,
that and the fact that The Rock is just... He's The Rock. He's awesome.
Well, him and Vin Diesel are have disagreements with each other because they're both like, I should be the star of this movie. I mean, it's Vin Diesel's movie, but The Rock definitely...
He's definitely brought way more charisma to it than Vin Diesel.
Well, he has more... Vin Diesel has done nothing successful except... All his movies have bombed except Fast and the Furious. This is actually like... the only thing he can hold on to besides his voice work on the Iron Giant and as Groot.
Well, again, I think it just really comes down to the fact that he needs something else to get himself going.
Yeah, and The Rock just carries star power no matter what he does.
He's a very charismatic individual. That's why he's a very successful wrestler.
Everything he's done has come out massively successful. The whole Samoan battle cry for the soccer team.
That is my biggest favorite thing. Okay, so to set this up, The Rock is standing there giving this battle speech to an unseen group, and the second the camera's on him, I'm just saying he's talking to children. And all while he's giving this speech, I'm just sitting there, he's talking to fucking children, just pan out already, and sure enough, it zooms out and it's this girls' soccer squad. Rather than just let that be the end of it, though, they all march into the center of the field, and they start participating in this Maasai warrior chant and battle stance. And I'm just like, this is the best thing fucking ever.
And then, of course, there was the one little girl. I don't want to play anymore.
Can you blame her? If that man came out and did that to me while I was trying to coach kids soccer, I'd be like, pack it up, kids. We're leaving. Even if we lose, I'm pretty sure that man's going to eat us. And not in a cannibalistic way. He's just going to chew us all.
That's how, man. That's how Samoans are, man. That's like the Samoan Maori warrior just...
It was a lot of fun. And that's all I can really say about this movie. It was dumb, but it was a lot of fun.
I'd say definitely it's worth a matinee.
I would say matinee, yeah.
Too much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would definitely say this is worth a matinee.
More. Well,
I don't know if I could justify going to see this like full price, but
Discount Tuesday.
yeah, if you have a theater that does discounts. Is this in 3D?
No.
Okay, good.
Not that I'm aware.
Oh, thank God. Can we be done with 3D?
This one doesn't have it.
Good. I would not recommend 3D in this.
No.
No, Scott Eastwood was probably the weakest link of all of this, mostly because of what you said, but yeah, he didn't feel like he was well directed or suited to. I think what they were trying to do was replace Kurt Russell's character, or at least give as a stand-in.
Yeah.
Or set up for it later in the movie, because when they invade the base and start blowing things up, I immediately turned to you and said, if you brought me to a movie where Kurt Russell dies, I'm going to punch you so hard.
I would never do that.
Good, because that man is a treasure.
I completely agree. He's Kurt fucking Russell.
He is. Oh, God.
And, you know, every scene he was in, he comes in and he kills it.
I don't think they actually gave him dialogue.
Yeah, they did.
I think they just handed him a script. He opens it up and says, Mr. Nobody says stuff. Done. And they just let him go off because I just...
The only, like, the biggest gripe about, like, this, that, like, them, at the end, they're, like, all accepting of Jason Statham's character, and he saved Dom's kid, I get that, but he also killed, like, Dom's second best friend.
Right.
There's no way you would let that go.
That I thought was really hackneyed. I was just like, do we really need a redemption story for this guy?
Well,
Wouldn't it have been way better if they just came to an understanding that neither of them like one another, but they understand they work well together?
Exactly.
I think that would have been a much better character dynamic.
Yeah, because at the end, he's sitting around the family table having barbecue, and it's like, that's... he would hand you your son, you'd shake hands, and then he would leave. He would not stay there. He would not be a part of your group.
Exactly.
Like he even said, I'm not here to work with you. I'm here to take this bitch down. And I think that should be the Hobbs spinoff, is him and Jason Statham go after Cypher.
I would 100% watch an R-rated variant of this movie with just them doing that. Part of me really wants that, but at the same time, I was like, this didn't have a lot of super violent destructiveness to it. It had destructiveness to it, but it was so over the top. It was just like, whatever.
We might get a ninth one, but I think that also might be the big thing between The Rock and Vin Diesel right now. That is them giving The Rock the spinoff and handing the reins to him.
Right.
And we might be done with Fast and Furious movies. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
they planned an 8th and a 9th one. They have said it, but them handing Dom a kid is just kind of...
That seems like a good segue for Dom to just go on, do his own thing, and then they have The Rock come in and basically take over the crew. Dom and Letty go off, do their thing, whatever.
She's my favorite thing about these movies, though.
Michelle Rodriguez looking pissed is my favorite thing about any movie she's in, because she looks so pissed.
Amounts of ass.
Oh my God.
Like, and they don't...
She Indiana Jones the dude into a propeller, okay?
Yeah.
I was so excited when that happened.
They don't...
Then The Rock gave the worst one-liner ever for something like that. She, again, we have to structure something, because she gets thrown out of a window at a secret Russian base that's been taken over by terrorists. And for those of you old enough to remember Indiana Jones and the Ark of the Covenant, there's a dude, this giant German, who confronts Indy and starts beating the dog shit out of him. And all the while a plane is rotating with its propeller going. And sure enough, this propeller on this submarine starts turning. I'm sitting there, I'm like, if someone doesn't die from that, I'm going to be very mad. And sure enough, she jump kicks a dude off a ledge. He falls down, and you see the blood go up the wall. And it looked just like the scene in Indiana Jones where the blood goes across the cockpit. And I was just there, I'm like, yes! Oh, if only all stupid movies could be like that. Just embrace the fact that you're stupid and run with it. Which, I don't like these movies for a lot of reasons. I understand why people like them, though.
It's dumb action fun.
It is very dumb action, but like I said, at the end of the day, it's harmless dumb action.
I also love
It's
the fact...
not offensive. It's...
I love
outside of Tyrese, I honestly would have liked this movie just fine.
I like the fact that with Michelle Rodriguez, they don't try to force the fact that, like, they're not like, females can kick ass. It's just like, everybody
No, it's
knows.
very subtle,
like,
and it's just, you know,
she kicks copious amounts of
she doesn't
ass.
go out and say, I can beat them just like the boys. She goes out there and kicks somebody's ass. And
Doesn't
it's just
talk
like,
about it.
yeah, it's just, you go, shove his face into that arm, into that railing.
You know what? Maybe it's
Her
her.
Rock killed so many people.
Maybe that's why Vin Diesel is so good in, like, the Fast and Furious movies, but not any of the others. Is because he has Michelle Rodriguez's character to play off of. Like, they're like one of the most believable ass couples I've ever seen
I'd
on
work with
screen. And it's like the whole, like, one-liner, and she's like, oh, you fucked up. It's like, now he's gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they play so well, and that's why they couldn't keep her character dead.
Probably.
Just saying. It was like in 5, everybody's like, no, we don't like this dude romance. Bring Michelle Rodriguez back.
Again, I really want to see Vin Diesel be a quiet bad guy who just growls and looks menacing, and I want to see The Rock go back to wrestling, and if that doesn't happen, I want to see him and Jason Statham team up to kick copious amounts of ass and drive stupidly fast cars. I will say that is the only other thing that made me cringe in this movie was the wanton destruction of some of the most beautiful pieces of machinery
Jesus
ever made.
Christ, that Lamborghini.
Oh, God, not even the Lamborghini.
They
That's like-
drowned it.
That's like my least favorite Lamborghini style, and I was just like, no, why'd you do that? But then they did have the gall to destroy a fucking Bentley?
Oh my God.
Jesus, that is, and a Jag, and a classic Corvette, and a GTX,
Pretty much everything.
all in one, just... It's like, you just destroyed some of the greatest pieces of automation ever put on this fucking planet, you
Oh,
asshats.
plus whatever Jason Statham was driving.
That's the Jag.
No, it wasn't a Jaguar. Was it?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was something else.
No, it was a Jag.
Okay. Never mind. I thought it was a different car.
I'm almost positive it was a
But it
Jaguar.
had that Trident thing on it. I'll look it up and see.
I'm pretty sure it was a Jag. If it was a Trident, then it was a Maserati, but I'm fairly certain it was a Jag.
He drove like the same car in the last one. I don't know. But we'll
I don't
figure
know.
that out. But
Yeah, well,
let's wrap this up real quick.
yeah. I give a partial recommendation. Rent it or a matinee.
I'd definitely say. I mean, like I said, everybody's probably already seen this by the time this is going up.
You're going to
so-
know if you want to see this already. I mean, if you're on the fence, then yeah, matinee or just a rental.
Yep.
You're not going to get a lot out of it, but it's not going to take anything away from you. It's not going to be like Transformers,
Nope.
where the highlight of the movie is dogs humping.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, until next time, we will see you guys later.
Oh, God, I cannot believe that was a plot point. 5 fucking minutes in one of them.
Stop.
Christ!
Later, guys.
Fuck Michael Bay.